Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here with my second layout for my guest design position for Bramble Fox for this month, and I've pulled out several of the really cute acrylic pieces that they sent me to use. I've got some pink border pieces, some little speech bubbles, and a couple of different phrases and words. And I've already done a little bit of work on my cameo, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. My picture is black and white, and it's a super cute picture of my youngest daughter and our cat, and it's from a few years ago. We were sitting down by the pool. And this is also sort of a stash video. I'm going to use some of the Neapolitan collection. It's the Neapolitan collection from Dear Lizzie from years ago, but it's from a paper pad that I found at Michael's. So it's the Recollections brand, but it's the Neapolitan collection. Now this cut file is from Paige Evans, and it's one of her fonts. It's called Back This Font. And I'm going to make a big title for my layout design, and it's going to be Hey Kitty, because we say that a lot, even though it's not a kitty. Every time I see him, I usually say, Hey Kitty. And so that's just what popped into my head when I saw this picture. It looks like that's what she's saying to him. And so I expanded the letters really big, and I'm going to back them with paper. And so I'm just going through, I've had this paper pad for years. I actually had the collection, and I think I used it all way back in the day. And then I happened to see it years later, or not years later, but it's been years since I bought it at Michael's, and fell in love with it again, had to get it, and so it's been sitting on my shelf. And I'm doing the basic backing technique, and you could do this by just sticking it down onto the paper and then cutting around it, or trace it and cut it and then stick it behind the open spots. But yeah, everything in this collection was so pretty. I love the colors and all the embellishments. And all I have is the paper pad and then a sticker sheet that came inside this paper pad. There's also a couple sheets of vellum and then like a punch out border paper. But I'm mainly going to use some of the stickers and the papers here. And so all I'm doing is cutting or tracing and then cutting out some of the letters to get all those pretty sherbet colors. That's what it reminds me of. The light orange and the soft pinks and reds and greens. It's very pretty. And there's all kinds of there's florals and dots and stripes. So I've got all the letters backed, and then I think this is how I'm going to situate the title with the picture. Since she's looking toward the right, I'm going to have the picture over on the left, so it looks like she's looking across the page and she's looking at the cat. So I'm going to do some fussy cutting here. There was this sheet of paper with all of these really pretty flower clusters, and so I cut one of those out, and that's going to sort of pull in the main colors, the orange, the pinks, and the yellows. And I'm going to use this as my background. I know I use white cardstock a lot, and I actually grabbed clear gesso when I meant to grab the white, so I'm just going to scoop it back in and start over. This is just a regular, it's actually thinner than regular pattern paper because it's from a paper stack. So if you've ever bought a paper stack from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, then you know that those papers are not very thick. So I'm going to thicken it up by using gesso, and I also want to white out a lot of the pattern because I want the bulk of the paper to be kind of white, and then you're going to be able to see all the pattern kind of through it, but it's going to be faded out a lot. So you can kind of see it, but you can definitely see it around the edges. So I pulled out some coordinating colors of shimmers here, and I'm just going to combine that with a little bit of Heidi Swapp Color Shine. I hadn't used that color in forever. It's called Butter. And I just started doing that with the packaging technique, and then I'm going to come in with some shimmers colors here. I've got 3 different colors. The orange color is a creamies, and it's called Just Peachy. And then that darker pink color that's more of a red tone in the middle is a creamies called Good Old Summertime. And then the pink one down at the bottom is a creamies also, and it's called Piggy Pink. And I'm doing some splattering, I'm doing some packaging, because I'm going to put the title and the picture right on top of this, and I want all this color to be kind of showing through everything and around the edges. And so I'm just kind of basically making a mess here and getting color down. And these are all the colors that are in the flowers on this background paper and on the papers that are in the letters. And so this is a fun and easy way to get watercolor-ish looks on your background. And I have definitely found that the Heidi Swapp Color Shine does not blend and smudge as easily as the shimmers, as far as the packaging technique goes. And just something I noticed. Just depends on, you know, what you're going to use it for. But yeah, the shimmers does blend a lot easier. So I'm going to keep working with my brush and the packaging. Most of that is dry. It's so shimmery and sparkly. It's so pretty. I'm going to add a little bit of tissue paper. I get asked a lot about this tissue paper. It's just basic tissue paper that you buy at the store to put in a gift bag. I have no idea if it's acid free, honestly. I don't ever really even think about that because I just enjoy the process of putting all this stuff together, and I haven't checked on acid free stuff in forever. So I pulled out some more pattern papers to start to use as layers behind the picture. And since the background is a very soft green, I pulled out a little bit of a darker green, and then I really wanted to incorporate this black and white stripe. It's actually more of a dark charcoal gray. It's not really black, but I think it looks nice. It's very striking against all of those bright colors. So I'm going to overlap some of these letters here, and I really like how this is looking. And the whole theme, or not theme, but the whole idea of using a big title like this is it sort of dictates your layout. Like I pretty much have the design already done just by creating those big letters and situating my photo right there. The rest of it is going to be embellishing. I don't have to use really any more pattern papers. Now these stickers are super thin. They're very flimsy. So if you want to thicken up cheap stickers like that, stick them to some vellum or some cardstock first and then cut them out. And so you make them a little bit thicker, and you know the sticky is already taken care of, so then you can move everything around. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to start to stick things down and layer, and I am going to have to add some glue behind this once I'm all said and done, because things just do not like to stick to gesso or watercolor in my experience. But I love how that looks. I love all the color and the layering that you can see over on the left of the photo. And I decided that I wanted to cover up some of that yellow. It was really, really bright, and the yellow that I got going in the papers is a little bit softer. So I'm going to just kind of add a little more to it and soften it up a little bit with gesso. So this paper is going to have a lot of gesso on it. But as you can see, it's not warping hardly at all. There's a little bit of wave to it in the middle, but it held up really well. I was very impressed since it was not very thick paper. That's just some cheap adhesive foam that I got from Walmart that I added to the back of the picture to kind of raise it up off the page a little bit. It's going to add some dimension. And then I'm going to bring all those letters back. And then here's where I'm going to start to work in some of the Bramble Fox pieces. They are perfect for embellishing, and I'm going to use that Moments Captured piece. After I add more splatters, of course, my backgrounds are never done. They never seem to be finished. I just always feel the need to come back and add more. And you know what? It's fun. I love doing it. I think I could just splatter all day long. So I decided to raise up all the letters. So I'm going to cut some of the foam up and then add it to each of the letters. And this is going to create some really fun dimension and some shadowing effects with the letters. And you can see how that looks different already. Now this is some charcoal gray thread that I'm going to add just a little bit here and there. And I almost thought I didn't like that. I do wind up leaving it. I'm okay with it now, but at first I thought, you know, I don't really like that there. But I left it for a while, and I do like the pop of dark gray that it gives, since there is an element of dark gray going on. You know, there's dark gray in the picture, there's dark gray in some of the papers, and so I felt that it was okay. I'm going to glue all those letters down, and I am going to overlap them, and that's going to create a little bit more dimension. And I definitely bring out my ruler to make sure that the letters are straight, because whenever I eyeball something that I want to be perfectly straight, it never winds up straight. It's always going downhill or uphill, and so I always want to double check that the letters are straight. I'm pretty sure I bring in my ruler. Maybe I didn't. Time will tell. Ah, Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did it off camera. Let's just hope it doesn't wind up being crooked. I do decide to add more thread over to the upper left area behind the picture, just to kind of match where I put it on the bottom right. And then here's where I'm going to work in some of the Bramble Fox pieces, and I'm going to leave them where you see them. That moment's capture is going to go right there in the middle, and I'm going to leave it white. I felt like that was the best color for it. And then I'm going to add a sticker on top of that little light pink scalloped piece. It was the perfect length, but then I wind up changing it. And I added this yellow piece, and it says, "Let the fun begin." And I do glue it down because, like I said, this stuff is really old and it really didn't even have any sticky left. And the stickers are really thin, so I do add some glue behind it. I'm going to glue that little piece right there in the middle. I thought that was the perfect spot. It was just enough space. And I'm going to sit something heavy on it so it dries flat. And then this is a little cloud that says love in the middle of it, and I'm going to leave that white also. You could easily color these if you wanted to. The rest of these are just little stickers, again from that sticker sheet that I'm going to add in. Little flowers here and there, some little banner pieces. That one that I put on the eye says, "This makes me so happy," and the little piece at the top says "delightful." And then I'm going to add some lines for journaling right underneath the little scalloped piece. And I think this is going to wrap it up. This was a lot of fun to make. I hope you guys will check out Bramble Fox. They are a company in the UK, but they make the cutest embellishments. And this was a lot of fun to make and to add those pieces. And it was fun to use up some of my stash and combine it with a newer cut file. Again, that is the Back This Font cut file from Paige Evans. So I'm going to leave the link to the cut file. I'm going to leave the link to Bramble Fox down below. A huge thank you to Julie and the rest of the gals over there for having me this month. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the techniques or the products or anything at all. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.